Hello and welcome, everyone. Today we're talking about building your dream app in 48 hours using AI tools. We have Mr. Hackathon here tonight, late night from the UK. How we doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, was just up hacking, playing around with tools, trying to keep up with every day there's something new happening. So trying to keep up with it.
Can't believe it. I was out and about, and you messaged me, and you're like, "Do you want to stream?" I'm like, "It's like 4 in the morning there." So, uh,
Yeah,
thank you so much for being on the stream. We'll see how long this thing goes. And so
yeah.
we were just talking briefly. We're going to talk about some things. We're going to be building some things out. Maybe talk about Zapier and MCPs later on. But let's just talk about building. This is what I'm trying to build today. For me personally, I'm going to really try to do 30 days of building micro apps for myself
Hmm.
and seeing what I can do. So I thought about being real practical. I'm using RP Strength now, which is Renaissance periodization. So it's all about hypertrophy apps for weightlifting.
Okay.
Right now, it's about $300 for the app per year. And I'm like, I think I can build this. I think I can. I think I can build this. Maybe I'm really cheap, and yes, I am a huge fan of RP Strength. I've worked. Trust me, I'm not saying that you shouldn't use him, but I am trying to save some money. I think a lot of people can do the same thing. Or if you're a personal trainer or in fitness, or have a very specific niche, like in basketball, volleyball, and you want to create your own fitness app that's part of your own branding, I think that this would be super insightful and kind of going step by step what we're going to do today.
Looking at this
Um,
app, what makes it so special to be 300 and something dollars?
you
I'm on the
know,
website now and it says I guess the bulk of it is like pre-made training programs, right?
I would say pre-made, and then the thing is, and this is, I mean, this is not that special, but it's very user friendly. The feedback loop of after you're doing the workout, tracking how well it made you feel. Are you fatigued? Are you tired? And then it adjusts your scores or adjust your reps the next time based on the feedback uh, on your sets and everything. That's the main thing. That's the main thing.
Okay. I think we can create that pretty easily.
Yeah. So also too, if you don't know the workouts, it will connect to YouTube and have his videos. But honestly, I use it very rarely. If you were newer to this, yeah, it was very helpful. But at that point, and again, it's $300. Let's see if we can build
Yeah.
this thing real quick. So what I'm going to be using, and I think too, Mr. Hackathon, you were talking about that you're going to try to. What are you going to be using today? I'm going to be using
Uh,
Replit. What are you
I'll
thinking?
probably use base 44 today. I
Okay.
think we used base 44 before. I
Yeah.
think we can, yeah, make something pretty interesting.
Yeah. Let's do it. If people are watching for the first time and you're interested, you're thinking about AI agents, you're thinking about all these things, there's a link down below for the free resource guide to try this out, and we'll go from there. I do all these things, and then I just blinded Mr. Hackathon with that that white screen right there. So I'm sorry about that. Um, let's get to it. So I'm planning to first use Replit. I'm probably going to go into chat to make
Okay.
my PRD I'm thinking about
Okay.
of what I'm going to bring up, and then I'm going to drop it into Replit. I think that's what I want to do.
Okay.
So for me, I'm going to just have it create a PRD for my AI ID platform. Let's see. I'm creating a, let's see, hypertrophy fitness app that is tracking my workouts and scaling my routines. So I'm going to start there and see what happens. Okay, here. And let us know in the comment section what you're building or what you're having, what you're thinking about you're trying to do. Be awesome. Let's see. So purpose, creating a AI-powered hypertrophy fitness app. Scope, generate, analyze, and scale hypertrophy-focused workouts. Goals and objectives, key features. Let's see. Logging, different sets, routines. Okay, integrations. I'm going to cut out the integrations where it's Apple Health and Google Fit wearable stuff. I'm not going to do that. So I'm probably going to take this portion first. And then I'll take the user stories too. Let me do that. So what I'm doing is I'm just copying what I like, adding it over here. I'm going to go back down. User stories I'm going to take. Daily active users. Ooh, timelines and milestones. Nope, not going to take that.
Maybe
And
to provide some context, so a PRD is a product requirements document. And typically, if you're talking about Uber or Airbnb, any big tech company, the product team and the product managers that determine what features are going to get built, working with the engineering teams, working with the design teams, and they put in product requirements documents together so it can streamline the development. Now, what we've done here is ask ChatGPT to create one for us, and it's created one for us. I think where the landscape is now is what Doc's doing is actually kind of filtering what's necessary for Replit and what's not necessary for Replit. Product requirements documents currently are focused around traditional software development, which is why Doc is kind of removing some stuff. I think in there it had about some of the back end and integrations and some of the stuff for how we are using it within Replit or Lovable or Bolt is just not relevant. And so don't just trust the AI and just take the product requirements document and throw it in. Like actually filter what's actually necessary for you.
yeah, I love it. Mr. Hackathon, just bringing this in so much and dialing in. That's such a good review. I really appreciate that. That's very true. You know, it's really sad because we're doing this so often, I forget to explain that. So that was super helpful. Thank you so much. Because when we're doing it, it might be like, what is he even doing there? So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So now that I have this, I'm going to just say start building and
Okay.
seeing what this is going on. And you're using base 44.
I'm using base 44, but I'm going to tackle this a little bit differently. So what Doc has done is we kind of call it one shot in. He's given the AI all of the information, and the AI is going to try and build from all the information. I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to give it a small amount of information and then kind of build it up from there. One of the reasons I do that is to try and catch errors and not let them build up. But it just depends on your project. It depends on the tool you're using. And I've just developed a workflow that I can pretty easily add specific components to the application.
I love it. I would love to. I can't wait to see the difference in comparing and all of these things. This is really good. What I'm doing right here is we see the app plan. I have build the initial prototype. I am using a Postgres SQL database integration for storage. Bottom line, we're allowing Replit to kind of spin up the backend, making the application smart altogether. And then I'm just approving that. There are a couple other things that I can do, like social features for sharing progress. I don't really need that at that time. So I'm going to just go with the basics of what I need. And then I'm going to approve and then go from here and have it start building. It already has a name for my application, Fitness Intelligence. I like it. We're going to go from there and we're going to see what's going on. Also, too, I saw that Replit just made some updates. Haven't looked at the new like change log or documentation, but I think they're changing a couple of things. I guess they're using. I think I'll have to look at the documentation. I don't want to say anything too much until I look at
Yeah.
it, but some things are changing. Let's
Okay.
see.
We've got. This is what you expect to have. Is this what you have in the RP hypertrophy?
You know,
A
not.
dashboard.
Hmm. Let's see. So not too far from it, and I guess I could. I'm used to using like data button to kind of give them design cues and everything, but
Yeah.
overall, not too bad. The first portion, similar to what they're having, start the workout. So this is already giving me the workout. What I would probably usually have is a first page that allows you to put in your goals or
Okay.
to be able to pick a template. What I'm seeing
Yeah.
right here is automatic workout for today.
Yeah.
We're seeing personal records. So I think that this is a good overview dashboard. I'm
Yeah.
interested to see how they're going to onboard, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're creating this and this is something specific for you, you want to be able to put in what you're focused
What you
on.
Yeah.
Hmm. But for a one shot, I'm actually pretty impressed it did this. You know, let's see what we have here.
Do you want to see mine? Let's
Let's
see.
do it.
Try and share the screen.
Okay. I'm going
Do you,
to switch over to you real quick. I'm going to
can
add
you
you to before adding, oh, remove mine. Yeah, let me try that. Ooh. Strength saying, hey guys. Hey, thanks so much for being here and being awake up here. Thank you. Let us know where you are in the world. Ooh, okay. So yours is a little bit different. You have a dashboard here.
Yeah, so all I gave it is I told it I want a hypertrophy fitness app that tracks my workouts and scaling routines. Um, so it's given, and this is the thing, guys, like a fitness app is a fitness app. Like there's
Yeah.
going to be small changes, but really and truly, it's not going to be that much different. Um, so we have a dashboard, just like Doc has a dashboard. We can start workout, and it just takes us to start a new workout. We can put the workout details. We can add exercises. Then it opens sets and reps. Now, there's things that I would want to remove. For example, I will obviously want a lot more exercises, but I have to just tell it, hey, put 100 exercises in. I want to maybe add a custom exercise. I've just added this and I want to be able to delete this and I can't delete this. So it is missing small things. If I go ahead and save the workout, if I go to history, I can see it in my history. Can I delete this? And again, I can't delete this. And it seems I can't edit it. So now I would have to prompt it and say, hey, I want to be able to edit and delete my history of workouts. And also I want to be able to edit and exercise, edit and delete an exercise.
I like it. I like it. That's I really like that actually. That looks good. That looks good. We got a couple people strength is talking about I'm working on some sort of logistics for a personal project or potential company. I'm on the East Coast overnight crew checking in. Hey man, we appreciate you. We love the hustle. Thank you so much for being here, and let us know how we can help at any time, or if you're just here for the vibes and as you're building out, we appreciate you. Keep us posted. We also have Lukman. We have from hey guys, I'm watching from Nigeria. Hey, thanks so much. And AI for non-coders. Look, you're gonna have to check out the channel. Check out what you got going on here. Yeah, this is. Thank you so much for being here. Great stuff. Great stuff. People from all around the world tonight. I like that. I like what you got over there. For base 44, can you interact and can you enter things? Tell me more about the backend or how it saves data. Is it spinning up a backend? Do you connect it with Superbase? What's goes on with it over there?
Yeah, so you currently can't connect it with Superbase. So they are hosting the data, which is for some people it's a downside. It depends how technical you are. I think as you go upstream with more technical platforms, it allows you to use Superbase and these external tools. I do think it's more beginner friendly because it's hosting everything for you. It's doing user management for you. You don't have to worry about all of that. Um, so I do think it is easier in that sense. But you know how, especially those that are more technical, they want to be able to host their own data and control their data.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So it kind of just depends where you're at and what you need for your own project right there.
Yeah.
Uh, as we're working on this, oh, you've got a graph. I've noticed too. This is interesting. I have a preview. It says this. This is for my app. It's still building
Yeah.
and saying creating the client. Oh, let me switch over. Sorry.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I switch real quick? Um, it's still saying this visual preview of the app. The agent is currently creating a fully interactive version. It's still
Interesting.
thinking. It's still building. This is interesting to me because usually Replit, when we have done things in the past, it's a lot quicker, but I have to
Yeah.
make a lot of more edits. This is taking a little bit longer, but I like what it's doing. It's interesting the time wise and what they're doing. These platforms are changing so quickly.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Oh, real quick, just want to say we're doing a video on this coming out. If anyone cares about it, if anyone has heard about Whale Sync, it basically allows you to integrate Superbase and Airtable. It can do a lot of other things, but especially in building what we're doing, things like this, it's interesting for people that are more non-technical and they want to really use the power of something like Superbase, but it might feel overwhelming. Just imagine you controlling Superbase using Airtable or using spreadsheets. That's what you can do with Whale Sync. They're going to be a sponsor in an upcoming video, so just letting you know. There's going to be a link down below that I'll have if anyone wants to try it out. It's not for everyone, but if you're either have a large inventory, you want to make a lot of changes, you want to have real-time syncing, and you don't want to be overwhelmed with Superbase, Whale Sync is an option. The tiers, it depends on what you're trying to do. It starts at 39, and I would say if someone's saying, "Hey, that's expensive," I understand, especially if you're paying for like an ID or things like that. But I would say if you're already doing something with a large amount of inventory, or you already have a business and you're doing an application and you need it to sync easily, that's what I would see the advantages of something like a Whale Sync. So we're going to be testing it out. We're doing some things, but that's out in the background, letting people know. So we'll go from there. Back to Replit, I'm still seeing that the client is still making some pages, going
Yeah.
step by step. I might at this point, maybe I did add too much in my product requirement document. Maybe if I was going to do this again, I'd probably do similar to what Mr. Hackathon did, just make it a lot simpler, because I have not seen it work this hard or take this long for a very long time.
Yeah.
That's just what I see right there. David, I believe. Oh, look at this! Look at this. Brazil with love. We appreciate you, man, and we've got some Flutter Flow fans out here. I feel you out there. I see what you're doing out there. Thanks so much for watching, and thank you so much for all the support, everyone from around the world. It's great to see you. Let us know what you're building. This is great.
So what features would we want to add next?
I would want to make adjustments based on my workouts for it to make changes. Now, would you think about that kind of functionality first, or would you go somewhere else with the next?
Yeah, you
Because
know
that's
I'm
a
a bit
lot.
I'm a bit I don't know.
Yep,
I
I
wouldn't
knew it.
say crazy, but out there. I would want to do something a little bit different. I would want to say, can I input my sleep data and have
Ooh,
it influence my workout? Like all this other data sources, can I use that as input for generating a workout. So it's like, hey, you only slept 2 hours last night, and this is what you've eaten the last 24 hours. Here's a workout based on all of that, and maybe even my mood. Hey, I don't even feel like working out today. Give me a workout based on like my mood.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. So I would think, and if I'm hearing about that, that's interesting to. Okay, so let's talk about it. So how about this? Do you want me to go out, start a new project, and make it simple, and then add those kind of features? What are you thinking?
I was just gonna say we just add on top of this. Maybe we just wait for it to finish.
I
And
like that.
but what I will do, and I'll share my screen again because mine's
Look at
finished.
this. It's creating all of these pages. Look at this. That's what's taken like forever.
And you did
Um,
mention we need an onboarding screen, so I don't actually have an onboarding screen, so I will add one. But
mhm.
this feature, and I just shared my screen with you, Dot.
Nice. I'm going to remove mine and bring yours up. Okay.
So what we have here is, so I've added the last things I added was the ability to edit and delete workouts from the history because it didn't do that automatically. And this is why, if you do it the way I do it, you kind of have to continuously test things to see what's actually working. Sometimes it might add a button and that button doesn't do anything. So you have to continuously test to see if it's working. But what we have here is a start new workout. And this allows us to manually create a workout. But what I might want to do is to generate a workout with AI based on how I feel. So I am going to say add a button to generate a workout with AI based on how I feel and how much time I have. Are there any other things that we might want to consider if we're going to generate a workout?
Could you say what we added? Could you go over that again? Can I?
So we're going to add a button for the AI to generate a workout based on how we feel and how much time we have. And obviously, we can throw in things there like our sleep data. I don't know if we have any injuries. We can throw all of that in later.
Yeah. I think this is good. The only other thing was, and I'm not sure how detailed we want it at this point, but being able to do it on a scale of energy level, like for you to be able to toggle like out of 5, what's your energy level? That way it can change off that a little bit.
Okay, so we added that, and that will take a minute. How's yours going in terms of loading the pages?
It thank you for allowing me to catch up. Okay, can I show you mine real quick
Yeah, yeah.
as
Go
you're
ahead.
doing this?
Go ahead.
Because I was about to start talking some smack. I'm like, I can't believe it's taking me this long. But then look at this. I should have just because I'm so impatient right now. Let me show you. So it came back. First of all, it changed the whole style of the app. It made it a lot nicer, I feel like.
Interesting.
Then you see the home right here. It has a workout page. It told me push pull legs,
Okay,
which is
nice,
interesting. A progress page,
nice,
overall strength and volume, which
nice,
I'm actually impressed by. It breaks down my muscle group distribution,
nice.
recommendations as of today,
Yeah,
and yeah, and then we have settings right here. Intermediate. It tells me. Let's see. I can. Oh, look at that. It allows me to edit the experience level, training goal,
yeah.
frequency, and splits. I'm actually shocked by that. Um, export progress data.
That is good. That's actually one of my favorite things.
Oh my
To
goodness, I
export the
am
data.
very very happy about that.
What
Yeah.
I
So this.
what I find interesting here, Doc, is there's a good side to this and a bad side to this. In the real world, I say in the real world, but in big companies with massive products teams, to have this many features, it does take quite some time. Like they're doing research, they're deciding what feature, they're talking about it, they're communicating with the engineers, they're communicating with the designers, and it takes a lot to implement these features. So the speed we've done it at is amazing. Now you have to really, really be careful, especially if you're not used to developing products. 80% of the features here might be useless to your user. So we've added a whole bunch of features and they might not actually add significant value. You know, we're looking at these charts, and when we actually speak to users, we have this strength and volume. They might not even understand what that is. For, you know, if you just started hypertrophy workouts, you might not understand what this is. So there might not be immediate value to your users, but we have just given the AI kind of like free reign to build what it thinks we want. Traditionally, software isn't built like this.
Those are great insights. I really like what you said. And it's honestly, I agree with that because I still have to tell it that I just want to enter. I just want to enter my stuff, man. Like this is really good. But I just want to have a button to add my workouts to do tracking data. Still
Yeah,
very beautiful, but I agree with you. This can get you down the rabbit hole very easily with
yeah,
all of the things that it just spun up. It's a double-edged sword a lot of times,
yeah.
and so keeping that in mind for sure. I see in the chat, even hopefully I apologize if I am pronouncing it wrong. Let me put it in the chat. We're using Replit, and Mr. Hackathon is going to be using Base 44. I'm
Yeah.
going to be switching it over to your screen,
Okay.
and I'll get Base 44, the URL, and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I'll let you continue.
So the last thing we did is we wanted to add a generate workout button and use AI to generate a workout based on how we feel mentally and energy levels and how much time we have. And so now when we click start new workout, it's added this button generate with AI, and it opens this modal, and we can select our energy level, we can select our mental state and available time, and let's just see what it does. I'm not actually sure what it's going to do. And it doesn't seem to have done well. It's created workout details, but it doesn't seem to have added exercises. So I am going to say when the AI generates a workout, make sure it adds exercises from the library with the respective sets. This is also why I test iteratively, because it will do stuff. It says, yeah, this is working, and it's not actually working.
That makes sense.
And this might take a minute for me, Doc.
Yeah. As Mr. Hackathon's working on this, what I am doing is I'm talking to Replit and just saying, "Do you mind if I switch my screen? Is that okay?"
Yeah.
Just tell me, and if I'm moving back and forth too much, you'd be like, "Doc, just stop." I'll go back. But basically, as you're working on that, I'll remove and I'll bring mine up. I am just saying, hey, I like the app. I would like to add a feature to record my workout results, right? This kind of goes back to Mr. Hackathon. Like, this looks really pretty. I like it, but I just need to enter my stats. like this looks great. We've got all of those things, but I need to do that. So what we're doing here is it's already looking at what we have so far, and then we're making some changes. And if you look at where it says see more, it can break down what it's adding. So it's saying create a workout results schema in our database, create functionality to save completed workouts, create a workout history view to see past workouts, and add detailed views for reviewing specific completed workouts. So it's adding all of those things right now. I can say show more, show less, and then it's creating all of those things. So right now, I want to be able to do that. It's also saying I'm continuing to implement support for completed workouts in the Hypertrophy AI app. Let's add the API endpoints. Hold on one second. It moved. Hold on one second. Boom. Excuse me. I was reading what it was adding, but it moved real quick. Basically, it's restructuring how we're going to record it and what we're going to add to the database and those kind of things. So that's what it's doing. It's thinking about it. And then also too, what I could probably do is I'm running the agent right here. Probably after I get this major functionality fixed, then I'm probably going to switch over to the assistant. And the assistant costs me less money and it's less things that I need to do. I'm not changing the app all that much. So I'm probably going to switch over
you
to that.
on why, like the difference between the agent and the assistant?
Yes. So the agent is going to be right here. Well, they have it. Basically, the agent is going to assist with having in mind the entire application holistically. So it's going to understand the broad strokes of the application. What is the focus of the application? That's what the agent's going to do and keep track of all of the functionality of the app. The assistant is going to make minor changes, such as, hey, I want this function to change, or I want the colors to change. I want the style of the app to change. So it's going to be a lot more dialed in. It's meant for minor changes. So bottom line, if I was going to say it, agent is made for major changes of your app. The assistant is made for minor changes. If you are thinking about, hey, I only have $25 to spend for my whole application, you might use the agent to build the first draft of your application. Then you can switch over to the assistant and you can max it out as much as possible to see what's possible with the assistant instead of using the agent. So one is used to govern the whole app. One is used to make minor changes.
Yeah.
Great questions. Right now, I am doing that. It says I've made several enhancements, added completed workout model. So we have the storage here, created API endpoints and store and access workout results, successfully tested the completed workout endpoints. Also, too, if you're saying like, hey, doc, these are a lot of terms I don't know. The beauty of this is you can always chat with the assistant and ask more questions too. So you can learn as you go through this. You don't have to say like, oh, I don't know what that means. I'll never learn it. Take the time. It's almost like having your own patient teacher with you learning this as you progress too. So if these things are new, these concepts, no worries. That's why we have tons of videos about this. But also the agents will teach you or explain these concepts to you as you're building. Let me know in the comment section if that makes sense. If I'm going too fast, if I'm talking too fast, let me know. Mr. Hackathon, do you want me to switch it over to you?
Yeah, you can switch over to me, and I can talk a little bit about like my philosophy to building some of this stuff.
Let's do it. You're all set now.
Okay. You can see my screen okay?
I can.
So one of the things we've done is start new workout, and we can generate with AI, and we can generate it based on our energy level. So I have low energy, I'm distracted, and I only have 30 minutes. We hit generate workout, and now it's generating a workout. So it's basically just giving me bench press to do. And the reason it's reloading because I have actually asked it to do something else. So we're going to do that again. Generate with AI, low energy, distracted, and I only have 30 minutes. And it's giving me bench press to do. Remember, our library of exercises is not extensive. But what it's doing here is taking into consideration our energy levels and our mental state. So I can save that. And I mentioned about my philosophy to build in some of this stuff. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of applications in the App Store or online on the regular internet that you can add some interesting AI features that are not there and differentiate your product. For one, this generate with AI is not, is it in hypertrophy?
Say that one more time, please.
Is this generate workout with AI in the RP hypertrophy app?
No,
And
not completely.
that is one differentiator, right? And even down to we use energy level, mental state, and available time, but you can use all these different variables to generate a specific workout for somebody. Maybe you want it to maybe you want to make it sports related, so related to soccer or basketball or tennis. Maybe you want it related to injury prevention or injury recovery, and now they're tailoring a workout to healing their ankle or healing their quads, or they're coming off an ACL injury. I also added here AI chat. So one of the last things I said is add a chat tab that allows me to talk to an AI about my data and workouts. So it's going to analyze the workout and suggest suggest improvements. So let me just see what I have in my history. And I'm going to say based on my history, what am I doing well? And what I assume it's doing right now is analyzing the history, analyzing, you can see you've successfully increased your weights. You've included planks. Now, I would have to, especially in the development phases, go to actually verify this. Yeah, so I do have some information here about planks and increasing the weights. And again, this is one way to differentiate. You can see here, it hasn't saved actually the conversation history, which is why now I will need to turn around and prompt it and say, hey, save the conversation history. But this is how you can start to differentiate your applications. We started with a very, very basic fitness app based on RP hypertrophy. And at least in mine, what I started to do is add these AI features. Now we can generate workouts with AI. We can use this AI chat. Maybe there is search if the user has specific questions based on their workout. Maybe we have a really intelligent AI search that is finding the most relevant articles for the user based on their workouts. So maybe that's the next feature I add while we'll switch to Doc.
I
What are
love
your
it.
thoughts?
I think it looks great. It just makes it makes me really jealous. I'm like, man, every time I see Mr. Hackathons, I'm like, I need to make some changes on mine. This is really good. What I really liked what you mentioned was you can differentiate what's on the App Store and all of those things. Two things I want to say. For the RP Strength app, number one, the reason that they don't have it even on the App Store, you just download it. you pin it on your phone, they don't want to pay the percentage in the App Store, right? Which makes a lot
Yeah.
of sense. And if people
Yeah.
don't know, you have to pay a percentage if you're on the App Store. You do not
Yeah.
make all of that money per the subscription. So a lot of uh, independent or bootstrapped companies will make an app where it's not going to be in the App Store, so they can take all of the money, basically, which is not a bad idea at all. So that's number one. The other thing is, I would be looking at, similar to Amazon reviews, I would be looking at the App Store reviews of some of the top rated apps out there to look at what are they saying in the comments, and especially the 4 stars or the 3 stars. A lot of people will write small novellas in their reviews why they don't give people 5 stars. And that might allow you to really mine all of the details of how you can be better at your own micro app, things like that. And you can do that for app reviews. You can do that for Shopify apps, whatever kind of micro app that you're building. Look at the top competitors, look at what people are saying, what they wish that app had, and that allows you to get an advantage or carve out a niche of where you can be looking to improve your own application. They've done all the hard work right there for you. It's time to start looking at that stuff.
Yeah.
I will get off my soapbox in a moment. Glad it worked for strength for that. Let's take a look at, right now, I'm looking at the preview. I'm dialing it in a little bit more because I've got too many screens for a moment. Let's go here for a moment. I am now using the assistant, and I am going to kind of dial in that I want to make or update my workouts, but I'm going to screenshot the page and tell the assistant to refer to the image because I don't see an area how I can track my workouts. So what I'm
Yeah.
doing is I just screenshot the page. I'm going to use I'm using a
If you
voice.
go to workouts for a second,
Mm-hmm.
so that is interesting. And again, this is why you test. I think the first version you had, right, it had somewhere for you to log your workouts. And
Yeah.
then it kind of remade it and removed a portion of it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Exactly.
we have to keep in mind sometimes AI does that. So you will tell it to change one thing, and it might change something that you was perfectly happy with. Sometimes I have said, hey, only make this one change that I'm telling you to make, and don't make any other change to anything else.
Mm-hmm. And so what I'm going to do is I have the screenshot. I'm going to say refer to screenshot. And I'm probably going to ask it to, what do you think, Mr. Hackathon? Should I say I need a way to structure or to save my data, or I would say add a button for me to be able to log my information for the workout? Maybe having a button more to be able to do that. What do you think?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
button, add a
Yeah.
button so I can log my workouts.
Yep. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm just saying refer to the screenshot, add a button to help log my workout for the day. Okay. Strength mentions real quick, might be too much, but what if you created a character that reflects the user's workout pattern for the day? You could probably build the character assets in Midjourney or ChatGPT. So kind of like a user story, kind of something like that. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah,
Can
you
you
could
pull up
have
that
it.
comment again? Can you pull up that comment again on the
Yep.
I don't know, that bar? Yeah, perfect. Okay, let's see. So while yours is loading, I will take a think about that.
Do you want me to switch over to you?
No, not quite yet. I'm just having a little think on how I would execute that.
Okay, no worries. See, right here, I'm getting an error, so I'm just going to tell it to refer to the the screenshot for the error and then go from there. See the attachment regarding the screen where I'm getting the error. Review the screenshot and look for solutions to resolve the error. Strength is saying yes, like a storyboard might keep them in the app longer. To return more. I like it. It reminds me a lot of when on YouTube for fitness athletes, there might be a workout tailored off of either a superhero, if it's their audience, like Goku or something like that, or what Men's Health used to do for years, and they could just run the same playbook of if there was an athlete that got jacked for a part, they would just say like work out like this person. And people would want to do that kind of workout, like Hugh Jackman for Wolverine, or it would be Christian Bale for Batman. Um, yeah, when you say that strength, that's what it reminds me of, having those kind of characters or different um, pop culture references for people wanting to get jacked and everything like that. I like that.
I think there's an interesting thing that's just happened. I think we might have skipped over. Did it run into an error?
It
Yeah.
did run into an error.
So this happens sometimes, and it's actually been happening with me on base 44. That sometimes it will run into build errors. So it runs into error. It creates the code, but there's something wrong in what it created, and it'll say, "Hey, there's an error." And usually you can just hit fix. I think that part of it's straightforward, but the way these platforms bill is by tokens. So I'm not sure if Replit is exactly the same, but if there's an error, you're still paying for that. So you'll say fix it and you pay for it. With Lovable, with Bolt, with Base 44, a lot of them is based on message and tokens, and you're even paying for the error that's happening. Is it the same with
Correct.
Replit?
Yeah, correct. The
Yeah.
only thing I do like about Replit that stands out, I mean, there's a couple things where I like about Replit, but this is one of the major selling points for me when I'm using Replit. Let me see if I can do it. I love the breakdown of how much I'm paying and what I'm doing. I find that a lot of times that when we're using other platforms, it's very shrouded in mystery, the breakdown of like what's happening. I do like when there's different checkpoints of what's going on, that I can see what's happening for my app and the usage and everything like that. They do use it. I will say at certain points, if the error, and I would love to get more clarity, maybe I'll talk to Replit or someone on the team. I notice that sometimes if it's an error that persists, I don't get charged for certain things. So I want to see maybe in the documentation if there's something very specific, what, that's why it's happening or why they don't charge me. But usually it's telling me checkpoint made, and then they're going to say how much they're charging me right here.
Yeah.
But I've noticed if there's a multiple error like over and over again, I have not seen all charges go through. So I don't know if it's like, okay, yeah, they realize something's going on here.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, even for every error, you're getting charged. You're getting charged for sure. That's a good point.
And what I think is happening here with Replit too is we haven't spoken a lot about pricing, but Replit's pricing, first you have to have the premium account, right? Um,
Correct.
so you have to pay monthly for the premium, but when it actually gets to using the agents, you're paying per checkpoint. Is that how you're paying?
Yes. Yes. So basically, you'll get to each checkpoint. Basically, when you do your first version, if you dial everything in, the thing that would cost you like 25 cents, that's basically going to be free, right? But everything else that you're building out, every checkpoint, it's going to be 25 cents if you're using the agent. and you're using 5 cents per checkpoint if you're using the assistant. And that's why we're like, hey, you can save lots of money if you switch over to the assistant rather than the agent as well.
Yeah. And then
We've got,
also with that is another advantage in the way Doc started his project. I have been doing lots of small iterations. If I was doing that in Replit, that could cost me a little bit more money than it might cost in another platform.
Yeah. Yep. Good. I like that. Good call out. Hermet? Hey, bro. After a long time, this is what we're doing today. Yeah. Great question. Yeah, well, this is what we're doing. We're working on creating different ideal apps, dream apps in the 48 hours. So we started with an app that I am paying close to $300 per year using RP Strength. And we're like, one of my goals is creating micro apps that will save me money in my daily life. I'm already using these applications. This app I'm actually paying, I think, 34 a month. So I'm paying more than that. And I'm like, I'm going to replace it. I've been using this app for almost a year. I want to now just build my own. And yeah, that's what we're doing. So we're looking at creating micro apps that make sense for our life or our business for sure. And this is going to save me more than probably closer to $400 a year when it's all said and done when we're building this out. Yeah, I forgot that was the start point. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Strength. Yeah. When we're on these calls, sometimes it goes kind of sideways, but that's the point of this. That's how we started here. So it's a good point. That's a good point. Let's see. You know what? I'm gonna do one other thing because this is slightly irritating me. I'm gonna try one other thing. I really do like this app, but it's not getting what I want. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go more of the iterative way that Mr. Hackathon did because I just want basic things and it's not working for me. And we have the time and it's irritating me. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to switch to Mr. Hackathon for a moment. And we've got a time limit. Mr. Hackathon has to sleep sometime. So we're only going to be on just for a little bit longer. But let's switch over. I'm going to see how fast I can build this. And then we'll go from there. Ask any questions as we're wrapping up.
Yeah.
Let's go from there. So what do we got, Mr. Hackathon?
So just to review the last couple of queries, we have our AI generated workouts. We have our AI chat. And now I added the chat history, and you can actually see the history and the conversations now. And the next thing I'm adding is, and it should be loading now, a character. It says Black Panther, but it actually showed Spider-Man for a second. A character comparison. So your Marvel training twin. It says based on your workout history, your training style matches Black Panther. Balanced combination of strength and agility training, and it has intermediate as the level. It doesn't quite know where to pull the picture from, so maybe in the future I might add like a library of Marvel characters and specific URLs to pictures, but it doesn't actually know where to pull the picture from. But we do have our Marvel training twin from I'm not sure the person's name that's in the audience that asks, hey, maybe you should put a character there. So
I love that. I think that was Strength. That's awesome. And you know the question that I get 10,000 times, and there is probably going to ask, what kind of prompts or how did you think about asking Base 44 how to do that? What was your prompting? What did you
can see it
write?
here.
What was the basic language?
No prompting framework, no prompt engineering framework. I just said on the dashboard, add a Marvel character comparison based on their workout history, show the character's name, why, an image of the character and the difficulty level, and I just said where to place it. That is it. Nothing complicated. But
I
what
love it.
I would maybe say the complicated part is thinking how to execute that. So the first thing I actually did is took a screenshot of the comment and say, what does this mean with a fitness app? Um, and I kind of use this to build my thoughts on like how to execute it. And
Mm-hmm.
that's where I got to this prompt. I was like, okay, I think this is how the right way to execute it.
I love it. I love it. Um, Great stuff. This is a question. Well, let's do a couple, if you don't mind. Let's know strength if that makes sense. This is a quick, interesting question. We've talked about a tool in the audience, and Hermat, I think I'm saying it right. Maybe I apologize if I'm saying it wrong. Do you mind if we take a quick question from the audience?
Yeah. Sure.
Um, so real quick. I was unable to connect Airtable to what is that? Relevance AI. And the question
Yeah,
is,
I
can you
know.
help me? So
What
Relevance
exactly
AI,
are they trying to do?
mhm, that's build teams of AI agents that deliver human quality work. It says made a sales agent which can call and update the error table, right? But the error table is not getting connected in it. I would probably, I've got some thoughts, but do you want to answer this question or do you want me to answer this
I think
question?
you go first. I'm not sure my screen's still. Yeah. So
Oh, yours is still up.
I'm going to just explore what I have here. I don't use relevance a whole lot, but I have used it. You can see 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm just
Do you
gonna
want
look at what I have and just
yeah.
see if I can actually show how to do this.
Do you want me to show your screen right now or take yours off for
No,
right now?
you kind of explain first and just give me some time to just see what I have.
Yeah, no worries. So, basically, I would say before we get into this, if I'm going to be using a tool like Relevance or Gumloop or any of these things, I'd first look at if I'm getting an error or I'm seeing that it's not working. This is my first step over and over again. And this is a great question, and thank you for having this, Hermat, in the audience. Screenshot what type of error am I getting? If I'm trying to get this and I'm trying to connect and I'm not getting the results, there are so many types of tools, so many different things that could be going on. Just like if we're using Replit or any of these tools, I need to first identify the error that I'm getting or what does the screen look like in order to problem solve or able to solve that error. So the first thing is for documentation, if I'm looking at unable to connect Airtable to relevance, what does the error look like? Are you, is it saying that it cannot connect? Are you getting an error? Is it not giving you an option to connect to Airtable? All of those kind of factors I would be looking at to make sure what I'm trying to do, right? Relevance, I've played around with it and know about it, but I haven't done extensive things with it. So that's what my first thing I would look at. Hamad, let us know in the comment section down below if you want to add more details of what you're seeing or what you're seeing in your on your screen or something like that. But that's the first thing that I would do when I'm trying to solve something like that. The second thing that I would look at is, excuse me, the functionality of what I'm trying to do, right? What is the goal? If I'm trying to create, let me look at I'm trying to create a sales agent which can call and update the error table. So after the call happens, are you recording the information of the user for the outreach? What are you recording? Are you recording the name, the email, if they opened the email, like are we doing AI voice? All of those kind of things are factors of when I'm using these different platforms. In the comment section, Hamad, let me know if that makes sense, if this is answering your questions. I see that you're saying that maybe you're going to all of the details. Yeah, those are some of the things. So again, if you could give us details of what does the error look like, that would be the best. Maybe you're getting us a screenshot or you're letting us know in the chat. Mr. Hackathon, how does that sound so far as I'm going through this and trying to troubleshoot?
No, that sounds good. That sounds good. I'm actually kind of going through it now, setting it up. I didn't have Airtable integrated with what I built, so I'm just integrating it now.
Okay.
And hopefully I can get this working in this couple minutes. But again, like I haven't used relevance for that use case, so hopefully I
Yeah.
can just do it based on what I know.
Yeah. And what I'm doing right now in this account, real quick, I'm just gonna create this. I'm just logging in right now to see what I think about it. I like the style of relevance. I just haven't had the use case of why I'm going to be using it, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. I think you brought it up to me, actually. I think on stream I was doing something with Karima,
Yeah.
and you're like, "What about this?" And I was like, "Why are you always bringing this stuff up to me?" Let's see about this. Okay, let's bring this up. Describe what your agent is trying to do. So let's talk about this. Okay, so now he's bringing up the error. Error studio validation must have required property table, missing property table. Okay, so if that's the error, I would probably be looking at number one. So this is what I do, right? Hold on one second. If that's the table, something's going on with probably the table that you're connecting it in Airtable, most likely. The second thing is, have you run that error and just put it into Google search? I'm sorry, I'm lazy. I usually just put in the error and see what happens here. So let's try this for a second. Let's go with what I'm trying to create. Let's see. Create a sales agent can call and update the error table. I don't know too much if it's going to call. I don't know if this does error. Does this do AI voice as well? Let's just say I'm trying to create a sales agent where I can call a prospective customer and then get the customer details and have that customer detail then populate an Airtable base. Okay, let's see how well it does. Um, let's see if it does that. I'm going to say start. I do like these little animations. I'm not going to lie to you. It gets me. It gets me. There's another Indish. Oh, look, I can make little things. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, it says, I'm sorry I cannot assist by creating an agent that involves making phone calls. However, I can help by creating an agent that manages customer details and populates an Airtable base. Would you like me to proceed with that? Yes. So again, I'm not sure the type of agent that you're doing, but I'm just going through the process right here. I am too entertained by this little thing here. And I can now see that's why they did it, because I am now being entertained and not worrying about how long it's taking the agent to work here. See, so it's saying planning agent, create an agent to manage customer details and populate an Airtable base, taking sips of coffee, coming up with the agent's instructions. Okay. So here's the Atlas. That's the AI agent's license. This is cute. So it's kind of making it like a video game. It's saying enrich data, extract LinkedIn information, update that. There might be maybe I'm not understanding everything correct too, Hamad. If I'm missing something or I'm not understanding something, please let me know. Okay. So I'm seeing this updated. I'm seeing tasks. The only thing that I'm seeing, and Mr. Hackathon, if I miss something, I wonder with this agent that's doing those things. Okay, integrations. There we go. Build your own triggers.
So what I was just doing now, I went to abilities. I think it was it abilities. I think I went to abilities. Oh, you was just wherever you just was. So go back to
Okay.
edit agent.
Mm-hmm.
Abilities.
Are you seeing
Oh yeah,
abilities?
no, I think tools is fine. Go to add tool.
Uh-huh.
You can search and type in Airtable
Okay.
and add. And now go to manage Airtable records. And I put approval auto run. That's what I put.
Yep.
I
I'm gonna say
put use this tool. So I did it. Use this tool to store. I put something like use this tool to store the output of the customer. For you, it might be customer enricher. Um,
okay.
and
Save.
then I say changes, but then also you have to integrate. Is it saved? Okay. And so it's parallel to manage Airtable records next to the copy button
Next to the copy button. Hold on
in
one
the top
second.
right,
Top right. Hold on one
edit
second.
tool.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have to actually,
Put
instead
in
of
the
list
API.
record, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
instead of list
Okay.
records, you go to create records and then put in all the information there.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have to create your Airtable.
Yeah.
Um, and I think the last time we spoke, you told me I'm probably one of the only people that uses Make this way, but I might just
Don't
integrate
do
that
it.
with Make. But I'll go and see Make, and I'll be like, has Make got integration with relevance? Oh, it does.
You
Okay,
would.
like
You would. Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it. Do you want me to share your screen, or I mean, you did a great job walking me through this. I didn't know how to do that at all.
so. What are we doing?
You
Are we doing the same thing? What are we doing?
yeah,
Are we
I'm
still
making
helping with the
I think this is good. So with Hamad, let me know. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Hamad, I might be missing something. I think this will get you what. Let me know if this is helpful. First of all, before I say anything, is this helpful? What we just discussed. Actually, I'm in Make. I'm not getting all details from relevance. So this is what I'd be looking at this right. So I would go back into this as a goal, right? So if I'm using relevance, first of all, am I using this for a client or for my own prospecting or something that I'm doing for with my own business, right? It looks like he's saying to update Airtable, maybe with Make. I think there might be. I think I'm missing something. Come on, I think I'm missing either. I think it's something's getting lost in translation. I think. Um, let me know. You can email me directly. But if you're doing this for a client, first of all, I would be mapping this whole process out because, especially with these AI tools, and if you're using Make, do you need to use relevance? Is this the best use case for what you need? Right? Is what you're using the tool the best thing for it? I would first be looking at the exact workflow that you need, building that out, and then deciding if relevance would be better or what Mr. Hackathon is constantly telling me how Make is better. A lot of times you can just use that instead of using relevance or other things or using something like N8N. Again, I'm not saying I'm not against relevance. I would just need to know the whole workflow because if I'm doing an agent, right, I might just use something different. Says I don't know which tool to use. I'm using Make, then went to N8N, and now relevance. So if I'm jumping around that much, this is just me. And let me just I'm going to be using something like a drawing tool, and I am first breaking down what do I need to do? Like, where am I going? And like, what are the different things, right? So if I'm looking at a project, I first am going to first mark out the inputs. Before I even look for a tool or anything like that, I'm going to be looking at inputs. If I'm doing this for a client, what kind of information am I bringing in? What kind of data do I need? Where do I need to go? And then on the other side, the outputs. So the very first thing, Mott, what I would probably do is, first of all, client is trying to do X. What data or info am I collecting? Something like that, right? That's all the inputs I need. We'll figure out the middle section is going to be the tool and everything, but I need to find out what's going on here. What are you trying to do? What are you collecting? All of those things. Then we'll figure out the tool. Then we'll have the output. What does the output look like, right? What is the what does success look like? What does success look like? For example, when my client gets this information, it will be over here. It will be displayed in Slack. It will be displayed in Google Sheets. The client will feel like this. They will, all of those different things. Where is it going to be living? How is that changing their life? All of those things. Start out here and have a clear understanding of inputs and outputs. Then we can find out the tool. Jumping around from make and N8N and relevance, all these tools are really shiny objects. They can work for you, but it's probably going to overwhelm you and probably not solve 100% of what you're trying to do because you don't have a clear understanding from the client of what your inputs are and what your outputs are. Mr. Hackathon, how does that sound? Does that make sense? How do you feel about
Yeah,
that
no,
as
that
you
makes
go
total
through
sense.
this?
Yeah, I agree 100%.
But because if he's already using make and N8N, one of these tools are the answers. But
Yeah,
I think it's not understanding this part first to finding what agent might work for him best.
yeah,
And this goes for anything. If you're using Replit, Lovable, all these things, it is what's going to happen is these tools are becoming more and more accessible. They are great. It's overwhelming, exactly, because there's so many choices. Start with the basics. Start with the basics. If you need help, that's why we offer consulting. That's why we do all of those things. But you're exactly right. It can be overwhelming. The way that you start with all of these things, you have to start with the basics and what you're solving for. That will allow you. There's an expression that I love. I want to make sure. Let me make sure I have this expression correctly. Hold on. I want to make sure. Yeah. So there is basically a type of you focus on the handle, not the tool. If you know the handle of what you're going to be doing or what it's solving, the tool comes afterwards. You need to know what you're trying to accomplish, see the handle, see what you're trying to grip onto, what you're trying to accomplish. Then we can find any tool that can happen, all right? So if we're trying to hammer something in, like drive a nail into a table, if you're focusing on, well, I could do that with a sword, I can do that with a hammer, all those things. But if you're just focused on the actual holding the part that you need to use the tool, so many things comes into clarity. There's so many tools out there, so many tools that we talk about. It can just be overwhelming. It can become paralyzing, and then you don't you're not in the right direction. So we need to focus on the clear objectives of what we're trying to do. Then the right tool will appear. We'll be able to select the right tool. If you're interested in consulting, if you're interested in learning more about how to select the right kind of tool for the job, and especially in an AI age, Hamat, feel free. You can email me. We offer consulting. We do classes, and we do this. We do this for free. As you can see, Mr. Hackathon and myself, it's important to talk about this. I think we're trying to give power back to the people. We're trying to talk about this, but sometimes you do need more of a one-on-one approach if you're doing this kind of things and if you're under a time crunch and things like that. But yeah, that's a really good question. There's a lot of tools out there. Don't give up. There are solutions, but make it easy for yourself. Take a deep breath and look at the basics, inputs and outputs, and then go from there. Mr. Hackathon, you can't pay as of right now. No worries. That's why you have YouTube and you have the internet, which is free. This is going to be, exactly right. NAN is the best in my opinion. Yeah, I use NAN quite a bit. It can be, I think it's really good for people, but what I've seen is a lot of people use Make and NAN. They start downloading templates, and then they get so overwhelmed or so lost because they don't understand the fundamentals or what they're building or what they're doing, which is a trap when you have all of these things. But I agree. I like N8N quite a bit. Mr. Hackathon, before we get out of here, anything that you would like to say to the good people, where people can follow you, all of those great things?
Yeah, obviously I have my channel, How to Build Software Without Coding. Do a lot of builds, lot building, really exploring Base 44, Create, V0 by Vercel. All of these tools are very, very similar. They show you how to build from like natural language, human language, to code or to application. But other than that, yeah, I'm here. You can find me on X. You can find me on Instagram under Mr. Hackathon or Dominic O'Norton. And it was fun building with you today. It's fun building something interesting. And I'm just looking at my app now. I'm like, hey, yeah, I'm pretty happy with this.
I love it. I love it. People loving your name, man. Love it. Love to see it. This is great. Follow him. I have a couple in the chat. We put down where you can find Mr. Hackathon, all of his good stuff. He's doing great things. He's been on the program. He is a great person to follow, find out all of those things. And again, Hamat, if you cannot afford to, do consulting, no worries. Jump on, subscribe to the channel. We do this for free. We're not charging anything on YouTube, man. Ask questions. And maybe next time we might go through an exercise of picking the right tool with AI tools or something like that. What do you think about that for people to understand? Maybe we'll do an exercise like that, Dominic. Again, thank you everyone for watching a late night stream. And let's see, just watch all your videos. You'll be fine. Thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, listen, there's no need to pay. Just jump on the channel, ask us questions, but write this stuff out, and maybe we'll come back to picking the right tool and saving you time and money with AI tools. So until next time, everybody, have a great night. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next episode.
See you, everybody.